The UK Prime Minister, Uppity Bumpkin, sends this. The West is copying the East yet again because China did this in 2012 or 2013. But the UK tackles social isolation with a minister for loneliness. Interesting. You know, that's interesting. I guess you can focus on something like loneliness when you have healthcare kind of taken care of, or at least way better than we do here. Interesting how that works. When you have healthcare for people and you kind of take care of people, you can tackle other things like loneliness. UK tackles isolation with Minister for Loneliness. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has appointed a Minister for Loneliness in a drive to tackle social isolation. And apparently this is endured by 9 million Britons. That's the word they use in the article. I've never actually heard that. The Joy Cox Commission on Loneliness was created as a response to the MP's own experience of isolation. Interesting. Isolation is damaging to your health. The feeling of loneliness can affect more than a person's quality of life. Studies have shown that living alone or feeling lonely raises the likelihood of premature death. 120. One study of 45,000 people aged 45 and over who suffered or were at risk from heart disease found those who lived alone were more likely to die than those that shared a home with others. The hardship can also be felt by young people. Heavy users of social media. Uh-oh, shit. That's me. Heavy users of social media had higher levels of perceived social isolation. I guess that makes sense. Isolated people may take insufficient exercise, have poor diets, or be less willing to visit a doctor. Interesting. Yeah, and I guess the likelihood of death thing, you know, there may or may not be a ton of water to that statistic, because if you live alone, I mean, it's one of those things like if you're a little older and you live alone, if you fall and nobody's there to help you and you can't get up, maybe you can't make a phone call, you know, you hear about situations where people die just because like they fell and they couldn't get up, you know, and which is totally really shitty. Kimmy says, I got super into the internet when going through a separation. Yeah. I think we all went through that phase. Whenever you go through a rough breakup, you usually turn to social media because you're like, well, everybody's nice to each other here. This is where everybody treats each other with love and kindness. That's why I live with roommates, Joe says. That and I can't afford to live alone. Join the club, buddy. Me neither. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm curious what the Minister of Loneliness does. Like how do they battle loneliness? Like what do they just like go visit with people all day? Is that what they do? They're like, if you're lonely, fill out this form and you'll have a scheduled visit with the Minister of Loneliness. Then the Minister of Loneliness like shows up and like it's just a really likable guy that's like he's like, I got a great taste in music and in sports, and I got a great taste in literature, whatever you want to talk about. I'm a Renaissance guy, and I'm the Minister of Loneliness. So what do you like to do? What do you like? Do you like to play hurling? That's one of my hobbies. It's a weird one, but I love it. That's an Irish game. I don't know how popular it is in the UK, but I'd imagine it's still pretty popular there. I'm the Minister of Loneliness. That seems like that'd be a fun gig, maybe. You know, you just brighten people's day. I'm sure that's not what the Minister of Loneliness actually does. I'm sure the Minister of Loneliness does not actually just go visit lonely people all day, but who knows? Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.